Satguru Maharaj Ji ki Jai, Sache Darbar ki Jai. Thank you all for joining in to listen to spiritual discourse today. We see in life people try to lead very fake lives. People pretend to be someone that they are not. They live in a world of imagination. Whatever they think is good or accepted in society, they start to pretend to be that. To show people how educated or scholar or intelligent they are, how rich they are, how morally appropriate or good they are. So we are leading a life of imagination. But we see that out of imagination, nothing real can come. We always have seen that when children are small or younger, sometimes they have imaginary friends. They speak to the person that they imagine to be real. They talk with them, they play with them. And we accepted that it's okay for a child to have an imaginary friend. But imagine if that child is in real trouble. Can that imaginary friend offer any help? Can that friend save that child from a danger? No, he cannot. Same way, if we live an imaginary life, nothing real can come out of it. We will not benefit as a person from that life. Two things are very important in life. Live a real life with good intentions. Your intentions matters a lot. We see that even in this worldly life, the law of this world punishes a person based on their intentions. We see that if a driver is driving on a road and somehow he hits someone and injures someone, that would be considered an accident and there's no great punishment for it. But if a driver is driving with the intention of hitting somebody and does hit someone and injures someone, there's a great punishment. That person would be convicted and would be sent to jail. So even in this world, based on your intentions, there are consequences. And if you see the law of the divine, do you not think that the rewards and punishments would be different based on your intentions? Sometimes people perform bad actions, but with good intentions, and it is considered good. Sometimes if, let's say, an animal is injured to a point where the animal cannot survive, but is suffering, is going through so much pain, and there is no hope that animal can recover and have a chance at life, a person would decide to end that animal's life. The intention is not to make that animal suffer or bring pleasure to the mind, but that decision is with the intention and with compassion for that animal. And it is considered a good act, even though the person took a life. So intentions hold great meaning in our life. If we live a fake life, nothing real will come out of it. We will never improve at a personal level. We will never transform, and we will never be able to live a peaceful or a meaningful life. Once there was a thief, a con artist, who would deceive people and steal stuff. So people found out, and the soldiers of that kingdom were after him to arrest him. So he ran away, and eventually he entered another kingdom. And he was very tired and so exhausted that he fell asleep under a tree. He was on the outskirts of a village. So when he woke up, he saw that people are coming towards him and people are going to work. So he sat straight under a tree with his eyes closed, so people would not ask him who he is or what he is doing there. People saw him sitting under a tree and they thought maybe he's sitting in God's remembrance, he's praying. And people went by. Few hours passed. When he opened his eyes, there was nobody there. He sat there trying to figure out what he has to do next in his life. And at evening time when people came, he pretended to be in meditation. And he closed his eyes and sat under the tree. And people went by, so they didn't ask him any question. Few days went by. When people repeatedly saw that he is in meditation, that he is a devotee of God, they, on their way to work, they left some food for him. And on their way back, whatever food they had left, they put next to him. When he opens his eyes and see there's food, he was hungry. He ate, and next day, same thing repeated. He came to a conclusion that this is a good life. Just close your eyes, pretend that you were in meditation, and people will provide. And this continued over many days. Slowly people thought that he's a great devotee of God, that he's always in meditation, even though he was just pretending. And they would put food. Sometimes people would sit next to him and then leave after some time. And business for him was going good. He thought, this is a great thing. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to go anywhere. And people provide for me. Some of them would put clothes next to him. One day when he was sitting with his eyes closed, he could sense there are people sitting next to him. So he kept his eyes closed until he felt that everyone has gone away. And when he slowly opened his eyes, what does he see? A saint sitting next to him, looking at his face, seeing through his heart and mind and soul. And he asked, "What are you doing?" He was a con artist. He pretended, and he said, "I am connecting with my higher self. I am fulfilling the purpose of life." The saint smiled, and he could see the lies that he was telling him. He smiled and says, "Son, if you are doing what you are telling me, then that's a great thing. Continue doing it. But if you are not, then you should do it." Saying that, Saint got up and left. Few days after, when he was pretending to be in meditation, he felt a touch on his foot. When he opened his eyes, he saw a beautiful young woman sitting next to him, trying to receive his blessings. When he looked at her, the greed that he had inside amplified. Because the jewels she was wearing, the thought ran through his mind that those jewels I must possess, I must steal those. But then he saw her beauty, and the thought took birth in his mind that I must possess that beauty. I must make her my wife. But he could not say anything. Few moments later, she left, but he could not get the thought out of his head. He was infatuated with her beauty. So he followed her to the village and he saw where she lived. And time to time, he would travel to the village and try to see her. He would hide behind things so nobody can see him. But one day, as he was walking towards her house, he saw some villagers walking towards him. And he was in such a place where he could not hide. And he got so worried and he got so afraid that he did not know what to do. And all of a sudden, there was cow dung, a pile of cow dung next to the road. So out of desperation, he stuck his head in the cow dung and covered himself, his whole face with it, so the villagers would not recognize him. When the villagers passed by, he felt so relieved that they did not recognize him. But all of a sudden, he felt a soft touch on his shoulder from the back. And when he turned around, what did he see? The same saint standing next to him, looking at him. At that very moment, he felt so ashamed. He felt so humiliated that what am I doing? At that moment, his whole being was reflected back to him, who he was, and he did not like what he has become and what the person that he was. Because saints are like a mirror. When we are in front of them, everything that we are will reflect back, and we can see exactly what type of person we are. And at that moment, he had a change of heart. And he dropped on the feet of that saint and begged for forgiveness and asked for a path, asked the saint for guidance. The saint initiated him. The saint opened up his third eye, instilled the light in his heart, revealed the vibration of God's name in his breath, and showed him how to meditate. And from that moment on, the 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the evening that he pretended to be in meditation, pretended to be in prayer, pretended to be in remembrance of God, now the saint said, devote same exact time, but now actually meditate. Now do with the intention of uniting with the divine. And that's exactly what he did. Some time passed by and there was a transformation in himself. He was becoming pure. He was uplifting. He was infatuated with God's presence and the feeling and the fulfillment and the peace that he felt. One day, as he was sitting in meditation, he felt the same touch on his foot. And when he opened his eyes, he saw same exact young woman sitting in front of him. She touched his feet and asked for the blessing. And then she told him that for many days I have not seen you. I always knew when you came to the village to look at me. But now I wish to marry you. Looking at her, he said, if you had asked me that question some time back before I met a saint, this would have been the greatest moment in my life. But now, the beauty of the Lord that I witness inside, the love that I feel for the Lord within my heart, all the desires have vanished, and the only thing that I'm infatuated with is the beauty of God. That light that saint have instilled in me, all the desires that I hold, so it can intensify more. So I will not be able to marry you. Hearing this, she was shocked. So before she could leave, she took off some of her jewelry and tried to offer it to him. Seeing that, he said, "Please take this jewelry back. I am in such a state that this is no more than metal to me, but it holds so much value to you. So please take that back, because all I desire now is God and His grace." This is the same person was sitting at the same spot 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours at night. But there was no change in him. The intentions were wrong. The life that he was leading was fake. So nothing real no transformation could come out of it. But he was doing same exact thing after he got initiated, after the master, after the guru has blessed him with his grace. He was sitting at the same spot in the same position, but his intentions were different. Now inside, he was connecting with reality. And great transformation occurred in his life. So dear friends, when we do the real things and the right things with good intentions, life will transform. Great results will be received in life. That is why mystic Saint Kabir has beautifully said. He said that if you are a king in this world and possess so much of power and so much of wealth, but still desire to possess more, you are living a life of a beggar. But if you are a beggar, but have freed your mind from all the desires, then you are living a life of a king. Because our desires make us beggar, and our detachment from those desires, freedom from those desires, make us a king. So dear friends, do you want to live a life of a beggar or a life of a king? It is all up to you. If we will connect with reality and we will perform actions in our life with good and pure intentions, there will be an upliftment in your life. There will be transformation. And the way you feel in your own heart as a person will be completely different from people that pretend to be something else and live a fake life. So dear friends, with Guru's guidance and with practice of meditation, step into reality. Leave behind the fake life that people pretend to live. Stop pretending to be something else, but become what you are pretending to be, because deep within your own heart and mind, we know that that's what we're supposed to be. So become what you pretend. And with meditation, this change is possible. So live pure life, real life, with good intentions. With meditation, with Guru's grace, great transformation can occur in your life. So dear friends, continue meditating, keep performing good deeds with good intentions, and until next time, God bless.